My name is Afreen Fatima, and I am a student at Jawaharlal Nehru University. I am completing my master's this year in linguistics, and I am an elected counselor from the School of Language, Literature, and Cultural Studies at the Students' Union. I have also been the elected president of Women's College Students' Union at Aligarh Muslim University. Right. So it was, I think, the night of 4th and 5th, the intervening night of 4th and 5th, when we got to know about that app and the website, where there were over like almost 80 Muslim women had their photographs and their Twitter handles uploaded on that website, which is named Sulli Deals. And so when you open the website, it gives you an option to find your Sulli deal of the day. And when you click on that option, you run a random image of one of the females whose picture has already been uploaded on the website, uh, comes on the screen, and it says your Sulli deal of the day is the username, the Twitter username, and it also has a link to the Twitter profile of that girl. And it was a targeted and deliberate uh, attack, violent harassment of Muslim women online. And the name itself suggests that since Sulli is a derogatory term that is used for Muslim women by the right wing Hindu ecosystem, it's quite clear that it is coming from the right wing, and it is unfair and very problematic if we isolate this incident as a mere cyberbullying issue. So it is, of course, a cyber crime. It is a cyber harassment, but the the identity of the women whose pictures were uploaded on that website is also very important to note. And I see it as nothing less than a hate crime against the Muslim women. And it is solely because these women were online, they were occupying these online public spaces and speaking up. Most of the Twitter profiles and the photos of the women who that were used were from women who have been very vocal, very assertive of their identity, of the kind of things that are happening in the country are extremely assertive and in a bound. So when you attack, so it's a taboo, right? Like, it's like the woman's dignity is very important, and like, you have to save it yourself. No one will question the people who are committing the crime, but the victims will be asked to, like, step down and whatever. So that is what was intended, like, to scare us, to scare us from uploading our pictures, to scare us from writing tweets against the government, against the right-wing Hindu ecosystem, against anything that is happening against the Muslim community. And it is a targeted and deliberate attack, which is which is linked with the Islamophobia that has like, come up, like, quite the blatant Islamophobia that we are seeing these days. In terms of the response, so I actually thought that, like, we'd have this battle again, that it's not just a women issue, but a Muslim women issue. That identity is central here. The Muslim identity is central to this issue. But to my surprise, even that did not happen. No one even, like, except for very few people, except for a small minority from the majority that spoke up about it. There was no public outrage. There was no collective outrage over Muslim women being sold online, auctioned online. And in terms of the response, that some people think that it is better to remove your photos, or to like, to maybe step back a bit, to gather yourself and maybe come back again. But I like to believe that they're coming from well intentions. I don't know what their clear intentions are, but I see it that whenever something outrageous happen, people try to rationalize it. People try to come up with solutions, and people try to think that, like, maybe this will help. And I personally want to believe that it's coming from there, that that, like, they're in their own heads trying to rationalize what has happened, and to them the immediate solution is to not upload the pictures. But the problem here is that it was not because the pictures were uploaded. It was because there are Hindu men who have been fed uh, fantasies and fetishes about Muslim women, and it is a manifestation of the anti-Muslim speeches that are out there, speeches that call for sexual violence against Muslim women, and it's a manifestation of that. So even if our pictures were not there, they would have found some way or the other to harass us. Initially, there was no response at all. Uh, so it's almost a week now, and for the first 3 4 days there was no response at all. In fact, like, I personally reached out to a lot of women who identify as feminists to speak up about it, and it's tiring, and it's even more triggering to get people to speak up about it, because it should be outrageous to anyone. And and now that some of them have, they it's like, they're giving into conspiracy theories that it might be by Muslim men, or they're giving into that they're trying to make the woman part of our identity more central, and ignoring that it is because of the Islamophobia that has been peddled by the Hindu right wing that this is happening. So our as as much as our we are targeted because we're women, we're equally targeted because we are Muslim women. What I am trying to say, or what I believe in this particular issue, is that our Muslimness is central here, because it is similar to the other hate crimes that are happening against Muslim men and the Muslim community in general. It is a manifestation which is now targeted directly at Muslim women. To it would be unfair to remove the Muslimness from this problem. And I think more than uh, m- more than us talking about it being Muslim women who are victim of it, we should also talk about who perpetrated it, and it is Hindu men. And that is, I think, something that gets lost every single time. Everyone says that a Muslim man was lynched, or anti-Muslim pogrom, but no one tells who is doing these pogroms, who is doing the lynching, who is doing making these websites and apps and auctioning Muslim women online. It's Hindu men doing it. So the identity of the criminals is also important. I think that it is important that all the dots be connected. That that so the way I see it. So on Sunday, the Mahapanchayat happens, and this Ram Bhakt Gopal guy, he gives a speech of abducting Muslim women, and on Sunday night we find an app, a website online which is auctioning Muslim women. So I think it is important that we connect both of these together and see it, that it is because of the kind of hate speeches that are out there, that people think that they have this impunity to do such kind of gruesome and violent and extremely disturbing acts. I'm not sure way things have been out of anything. Police will do a lot about it. I'm not sure if the judiciary would be able to pronounce a verdict that sounds like justice. But I think I think most of the Muslim, like us also, like except for NCW taking cognizance and suo moto cognizance of it, and the police registering an FIR, we are also thinking of taking legal action against it. But at the same time, like, we don't have a lot of hopes, but we are willing to do every single thing possible for us to do so that nothing of the sort is repeated against any woman, be it a Muslim woman, a Dalit woman, or an Adivasi woman, because it's marginalized identities that face more violence, more like there's intersectional violence, right? That marginalized identities face, and there's a deliberate attempt to erase the identity also. And we will be trying our best to do anything that is possible, uh, to give legal notices to Twitter for the kind of the harassment that we face. Like even after the website was pulled down by GitHub, these men were like, with impunity tweeting and retweeting that we will make it again, and there's nothing you can do to stop us. This kind of impunity has to stop. And was that the triple talaq did not have the intention of protecting Muslim women from Muslim men. It was the only intention that was there was to criminalize Muslim men, and it was presented in a way, the kind of language that was used, that we're so uh, like we're the saviors of Muslim women, and we're going to do this for them, and we're going to save them from savage Muslim men out there who are uh, abusing them and humiliating them, and they don't have any dignity in their households. So that kind of image was created of a Muslim woman so that Muslim men can be criminalized. So I don't see a triple talaq at all to be trying to protect Muslim women, right? At this, and even this love jihad law, of course, again they bring up this argument of saving the woman. So saving the woman, I think, is the basic is their most liked or most loved thing to say, because then it brings legitimacy to whatever nonsense they're doing. So if you're like saving a woman, then you can do anything you want. uh, so even the love jihad law, I don't see it as specifically to save Hindu women, but again to criminalize Muslim men. And they would never say that it's only for Muslim men. Even if Hindu men will try and do something of that sort, we would take action. But the kind of FIRs that followed is clear evidence that it was to criminalize and arrest and harass Muslim men. In fact, Muslim women who were from different faiths and have converted to Islamic faith. Uh, so that is there, and I think there is no good intention when it comes to Muslim women or Muslim men or Muslim community in general. Anything that is brought in the garb of saving someone, or being a good law, or a very progressive measure to help the community in general, is just use of flowery language and everything. But at the core of it, there is very clear anti-Muslim sentiments attached to laws like these.